Hey guys, Jake here, and welcome to my channel. So, on my channel, I will be uploading competitive Pokemon, but my focal point will be the Draft League format, which is what I play the most, and I recently joined a league known as the CPC, and it is commissioned by 681 Shadow and Foul. I will leave their links in the description. Now today, I will be talking about the team I drafted for the CPC, and the point system was each mon was individually priced, and we had 110 points to pick 9 to 11 mons. And the first Pokemon I wanted was Garchomp, just because I really like using Garchomp. It's got an amazing speed tier, it gives me hazards, it's a pretty strong wall breaker. At times, in certain matchups, it can set up. It's got so many options. It can be a special lure, it can be defensive. It's just a mon I really enjoy using. It really is a good mon to build a team around, just because there's so many things you can do with it. And it's dragon type, and everybody loves dragon types. I think they're essential to any draft. So the next mon I drafted was Mega Venusaur, and I wasn't really sure what I wanted coming into this round, but Mega Venusaur in any draft, it is always a solid option just because of this insane bulk, and you can use this bulk to switch it into like almost any neutral hit. It's so fat, and it's not passive at either. It's got stuff like Leech Seed, Sludge Bomb, Knockoff. It can even SD. And it's got reliable recovery and synthesis, and it can set up with Amnesia and Curse too. It could be a phaser. It's just such a good mon. Is such a good glue to teams. And speaking of glue, we have some more fat glue, and I decided to pick up Zapdos. And Zapdos, I've used in the past, and I wasn't really a huge fan of it, but I really wanted to pick up some early hazard removal, and I felt like Zapdos I could try it again. It's a great mon, because these stats are like so adjustable. It can do so many. It can be especially offensive. It can be physically defensive, especially defensive. It can defog. It can roar. It could even like baton pass. Can set up Tailwind. It's a really good utility and support mon. And the next mon, it was still here in the 4th round. I was a bit surprised by it, but I wasn't really sure what I wanted. I got sniped on Metagross, and I really love Metagross. It's like one of my favorite mons to use in the format, so it was a bit heartbreaking, but I realized Hoopa and Bound was still there, and while it was expensive, I still feel like I want to get more wall breakers. Like, wall breakers like Hoopa aren't like stuff you can cash in with the later picks. There's not as many budget wall breakers like Hoopa, and Hoopa Unbound is pretty controversial. It's banned in most leagues, but some leagues are stopping to ban it because they've realized its weaknesses, and I don't think it's ban worthy, because this 80 speed, even when max speed, is not ideal. Like 284, it still gets outsped by most fast U-turns, and this dies to anyone U-turn due to its very poor defensive stat. And yeah, this thing's not like U-turn, and I'm gonna try and build some more Volt Switch and U-turn later on in the draft with this, because Volt Turn is where Hoopa shines when the Volt Turners lure in the walls and Hoopa just comes in and gets a kill. Now the next one, I really needed a steel type, and Bronzong is a really solid steel type. It's got really nice bulk. It can go Fizz Def or Svidef. It gave me another ground immunity, which is why I picked it over Registeel, because Edgequake like hurts my team a lot. And also, like, if I face a Mamoswine with these Farfix, I'm kind of screwed. So yeah, a ground immunity like Bronzong is always a really solid option. And it gives me more hazards, which is important because I only had Garchomp for rocks, and I don't want to be running rocks on Garchomp every week. It also can like trick stuff. It can be dual screens. This is another really nice support mon, and I've never used it before, but I'm looking forward to it. And then with the next mon, I really needed a bulky water type because every draft needs a bulky water type in my opinion. And Jellicent was pretty cheap. I think it was like 8 points, so I decided to snag it up. And Jellicent is honestly, it could be bulkier on the physical side, but it's still a really nice, especially defensive wall at times. It's a great check to water types. It has reliable recovery. It can burn stuff with a Will-O-Wisp. It can taunt. It can trick. It's got a pretty nice movable once you look more into it. And I will be always running the male because I can't stand the female sprite. And with the next mon, I wanted to complete my fairies, Dragon Steel Core, pick up Aromatisse. I've used Aromatisse multiple times in the past, and I've enjoyed it pretty much every single time because it's got better bulk than Conflable, and it can be a really nice cleric, and I love my clerics. I love my Wish Pass. And Aromatisse gets a lot of hate for being passive, but I think it can be worked around with the team I drafted. And the Wish support for Garchomp and Bronzong is really nice. Venusaur too, kinda, because Venusaur suffers from the lack of passive recovery, but I still think so. The Wish Pass from this Venusaur could be a thing. Wish is just always a good move. It really gives their team more longevity. And the next mon I drafted, I really need some speed. Like, look at my drafts. I am lacking speed. Garchomp is the fastest mon at 102, and I really just needed like a late game cleaner. Some more hazards would have been nice, and it can defog if I need to, and that is Aerodactyl. And Aerodactyl is a mon that I think goes under the radar a lot because it outspeeds pretty much everything that's not Mega and like Accelerate, which is really valuable as speed types like Crobat and Tapu Koko. It's pretty strong, and it's a really good Z-mon. This is my Z-mon, by the way, and it can utilize a lot of good Z moves like Aqua Tail, like if you want to run Hydro Vortex for, I don't know, Landorus T. Even this thing gets Ice Fang too, I think. Yeah, it gets Ice Fang, so I'd probably run that. But it's the Z moves are still pretty solid on this thing, like Z Sky Attack. Z Sky Attack is 140 base power. That's a really strong theme move. So if I need to nuke like a bulky grass or something, then Arrow can do that. And then with the next pick, I still wanted some more speed, and I felt like Shinchino was only 5 points, and I felt like that was pretty cheap because this thing is actually really hard to switch into a Bandit Tail Slap if you don't resist it. And it's got nice coverage options too, such as Gunk Shot. It's got Knockoff. It gives me more U-turn, which is really important for the Hoopa. Because as I said, I want some more U-turn to just get the initiative into my wall breakers like Hoopa. And it's got Aqua Tail, Bullet Seed, a really nice physical move pool. It's got Encore if I need to stall break or something. I don't see myself bringing that, but it still gets it, which is nice. And a lot of people hated on Shinchino, but I still think it can put in work this season if I play it correctly. And with the last mon, I wanted a fighting type because I think fighting types are super important to break down those bulky normal types like Porygon 2 and Snorlax. And I got sniped from Blaziken. I really wanted Blaziken because it gave me a fire type and a fighting type, and it can set up. And Toxicroak was the same amount of points as Blaziken, and I've actually never used Toxicroak before, but I've prepped for it a bit, and it's kind of hard to prep for because Life Orb Gunk Shot hits hard, and It can set up too. It can set up an SD and nasty plot. It's got really nice coverage too. It's got stuff like it gets fighting, which is already one of the best types in the game. It's got cross drop, drain punch, then it gets EQ. It gets knockoff, gung shot, ice punch, poison jab, and then thunder punch if you're facing a Mantine or something. I don't know. And it's got 2 forms to set up. So yeah, this is my draft for the CPC. I did mention I made Aerodactyl my Zmon just because of the coverage options it gets. It's a pretty nice lure, but I don't want to reveal too much. And overall, I'm feeling somewhat satisfied with my draft. After building for it for a little bit, I've started to gain confidence with it, and it'll definitely be an interesting team to use. I've never really drafted a team with this top heavy. This is what people are saying about it, because it goes from Zapdos, which is 16 points, all the way down to Bronzong, which is 9 points. That's a 7-point gap, which is a lot, but I still think this draft is solid. It's been ranked pretty low in power rankings, but that's okay. I don't mind being a dark horse to start off the season. So yeah, then that's all for the video. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys next time.